today we're going to use the pork mince to make a sort of a herb meatball with a tomato sauce made with the tin tomatoes that everyone has, and obviously some linguine or spaghetti, dried pasta. That's a family favorite, and I'm going to show you the easy way to do it. So for our meatballs, some breadcrumbs. So that's some old dry bread, just stick it in the blender. Breadcrumbs, some eggs, just to bind the meatballs. Onion, garlic. I've got some Parmesan. You can buy just the packet of Parmesan. Then to make the tomato sauce, tin tomato. To bulk it out, regular tap water. Fassnidge stock we call this, Malabar stock. Salt and pepper, pasta. Whatever type of pasta you want. Depends on how fiddly your kids are. Australian pork mince, vital. Next, herbs. So we've got, stay with me on this, we've got some sage, we've got some thyme, we've got some rosemary, we've got some tarragon. It's all fresh. If you can't get out to the supermarket, we can't get it, I've got that problem solved. The Italian solved it a long time ago, mixed dried herbs. Right, to make the pasta sauce, very simple, just using the ingredients in the cupboard. We've got our tin tomatoes, we've got our onion, we've got our garlic. Roughly chop your onion and your garlic. I'm sure there's a lot of Italians will disagree with me, but hey, it's Irish Italian. Italian. This is Italian. Right, some sage, a little bit of tarragon. If you haven't got this, you're just going to use some of your dried herbs. Just chop it up. Now all of this we're going to add to olive oil in a pot and sweat it down for 5 minutes. Right, so we've been on 4 to 5 minutes. You can smell all those herbs, the onions, the garlic. Add your tomatoes. And here's a little tip, yeah? See all that? Never just throw it away, just run it out. Look at that. Irish stock goes into your tomato tin. Now just get that little mix around. And now we're just going to simmer this for about half an hour to 40 minutes. It's going to reduce, the tomatoes are going to break down, and it's going to get a nice consistency to go over our meatballs. So this is what we're going to cook our meatballs in. Okay, meatball time. Here's an onion. I've chopped it, I've sweated it. That's what it looks like. Onion and garlic, what we did earlier on. So what you do is you sweat your onion and garlic, let it go cold before you mix it with your mince. You don't want to cook your mince straight away. Some sage, some rosemary, some tarragon, some thyme. Thyme's something we've all got a lot of at the moment. Think about that. Got my herbs. Got my cooked onion and garlic, which is cold. Got my pork mince. So what's that? That's about, I don't know, 500 grams. That's gonna feed a whole family and more. Pork mince, so say I've got a handful, 2 handfuls of breadcrumbs, our old style bread. That's just gonna help soak up and firm the meatballs. I like Parmesan in my meatballs, you don't have to. I'm just gonna grate some in, because it adds a nice cheesy, salty flavor. Then to bind your, what am I talking about? Meatballs. To bind your meatballs, you want some egg yolk. I use 1 egg yolk and 1 egg. So this helps locks it together when we're cooking it in the stock. Right? So make sure you get all this done because it's going to get messy. Salt, 1, 2. Pepper. Good pepper now. Alright, make sure you've all your ingredients in, your herbs. My hands have been sterilised and washed, and I'm in my house, so I'm going to mix it, yeah? I've obviously forgot my chef's hat today because I always wear a chef's hat at home. You're sort of working the meat so it's getting a little bit elastic and you're getting all those ingredients in there. So you want to get your egg through, your breadcrumbs through, all your herbs, much as my kids hate them, they're getting them. And then what you do is, I reckon golf ball size. Just work them. So what would it be, 2 to a portion, I reckon?
Maybe probably 4, my kid.
Another tip is, right, say if you bought too much sausages, you've got your pork sausages, just cut down the middle with a knife and take the mince out and make meatballs. Okay, time to cook our meatballs in our sauce. So we formed our balls. They're a little bit, not all the same size. That's like a lot of balls in life. So we've got our meatballs in our tray. So we have a deep tray that's going to hold the sauce. Now I'll grab the sauce. So that's been on. That's our sauce, been on for half an hour. Got it. Get the herbs on there. What I like to do is get a little coating of Parmesan. So this will caramelize on top, and it's going to give you a little seasoning as well. And now this goes into the oven for about, I reckon, 30 to 40 minutes. I go a high oven because the balls are raw and you want them to cook and you want them to caramelize. So what's happened there is your meatball is caramelized on top. See that? Holds its shape. You've got that beautiful sauce, which is also flavored with the pork now. So that with your pasta, goes with anything actually. Look at that. Great balls of fire. Bellissimo.